Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Tales by John. Tonight, we're going to open a door into an immense, quiet realm, the world of solar systems. This is a place where every star is an unopened book, and every planetary system around it is a story waiting to be told. Our solar system is only a tiny page in that great book, a small, quiet story drifting among countless celestial bodies, moving to the rhythm of time and gravity. Out there in the deep shadow of space, there are twin star systems, molten planets, and even worlds that have lost their home, wandering without a star of their own, like solitary travelers drifting through the infinite universe. And tonight, we'll step into that darkness, exploring and listening to truths that science still hasn't fully answered. What you're about to hear may challenge what you think you know about life, about planets, about what we call normal. But all of it is real and beautiful in a soft, hidden way. Every discovery tonight, whether large or small, will be like a quiet puzzle piece in the story of the cosmos. A story so vast and so beautiful that it exceeds every boundary of human thought. If you enjoy these slow journeys, you're welcome to like, subscribe, or share your thoughts. Perhaps your whisper will guide some wandering soul to this peaceful corner. Now, gently close your eyes, let the night hold you, and we'll begin. To make tonight's journey more vivid, let your mind merge with the universe. Right now, you're floating above a distant solar system. Beneath your feet, a deep, black emptiness stretches with no end. And in the middle of that silence, two suns are burning, standing beside each other like two candles placed in a small midnight room. Their light blends together, flowing into one another like two fragile ribbons of silk wrapping around the sky. Around these twin suns, a single planet circles slowly. Its orbit isn't just a fixed ellipse like the diagrams in a textbook. It is a glowing ribbon, soft and just a little mischievous, always shifting in tone depending on the light it receives. When the planet passes through the region where both suns shine at once, its surface flares like a sheet of heated metal. When it moves into a zone lit by only one sun, the light softens, turning into an endless, gentle afternoon. If you close your eyes, you might feel the rhythm of that planet's spin, slow and steady like your own breathing. Not rushed, not hurried, just a quiet, continuous motion. As if that entire world were dancing an ancient dance it has known since the day it came into being. Some planets rotate in one direction, others rotate the opposite way, like dancers who refuse to follow the same beat. Some are tilted, like a person's head leaning on someone's shoulder in mid-sleep. Long ago, there were collisions, violent shoves strong enough to change the tilt of an entire world. And yet, after all of that, they keep spinning, still searching for a stable path through the endless sea of night. Imagine this. If you stood on the surface of a planet with a strongly tilted orbit, the sky would never look like Earth's sky. The sun might rise in the west and set in the north. Seasons might last for decades. There are even planets whose skies are eternally bright, where night never truly comes, because the light from 2 or 3 suns never completely fades. Somewhere far away, another world orbits a large star, but with such a skewed orbit that every revolution it makes draws a soft, swirling line through space, like a length of silk being tugged gently by the cosmic wind. No two orbits are the same, because each planet was born from a different story. Some formed together with their star, some were pulled in from neighboring systems. Some endured devastating impacts and still kept going, like small warriors in the dark. You see, the universe is not rigid. It does not use a straight ruler to draw the paths of worlds. It uses time, it uses gravity, and it uses fragments of memory from every collision, every rebirth, every revolution repeated over billions of years. And then, as you drift slowly through these images, you might notice something very beautiful. Every orbit in the universe is a kind of dance, a gentle motion where no dancer truly knows how long they've been dancing, only that they must continue. Imagine watching a solar system where the planets don't follow circles or ellipses but swirl in hypnotic spirals, like flowing ribbons in the wind. They are not wrong. They are simply telling their histories through their motion. And sometimes, these paths even touch in their own quiet way. When two planets pass close enough, the gravity between them becomes a greeting, a soft tug that shifts the course of both just a little, a brief encounter that may last millions of years. Still, no matter how beautiful orbits are, they are only guides, only pathways. What matters more are the worlds gliding along those paths, each one a small, unopened story, like a tiny seed of light waiting to unfold. This is where we go deeper, leaving behind the shapes of their routes so we can look at the planets themselves, the small jewels scattered across the vast fields of the universe. Take a slow, deep breath, and imagine the sky opening out before you like a misty night field. Every drop of dew is a world, every world is a story. And far more often than you realize, countless stars like our sun hold Earth-sized planets close to them. Not rare, not strange, but like glittering droplets spread evenly over the meadows of the cosmos. The universe is not empty. It is so full that, if you listen carefully, you can almost feel its quiet crowding, as if in this silence, thousands or millions of rotations are happening at once. Each spin is a whisper, a tiny heartbeat of a world whose name no one has ever spoken. Somewhere far away, there are solar systems where all the planets are nearly the same size, lined up in a gentle chain like pearls threaded onto a silver string. There is no giant world breaking the pattern, no world so small that it gets overlooked. They sit side by side like equal companions, beautiful, balanced, and quiet. If you stood on the surface of one of those planets and looked up, what would you see? Not a lonely sky like Earth's, where the other planets are only faint spots of light. No, your sky would have neighbors. Neighbors bright enough to cast your shadow on the ground. A massive planet might hang low in the sky like a colossal moon, glowing with reflected light from your shared star. Imagine, at every sunset, you would see the curved surface of that neighboring world bending downward, like a mirror suspended in the heavens. You would know that up there, too, there are mountains, oceans, and perhaps someone gazing quietly back at you. The universe is not empty. The universe is full, not full of noise, but full of possibilities. It is filled with tiny worlds, each one like a soft note on the cosmic piano. Some planets orbit so close to each other that, if you shouted as loud as you could, your voice would never reach them, but your gaze might. Your eyes could cross that thin layer of night, gently touching the surface of a sibling world. There are also systems where the largest planet stands so near that, from a smaller neighboring world, you could see swirling storms on its surface with the naked eye. It is a sight both majestic and still, a kind of beauty that makes you unconsciously hold your breath. In other places, the distance between two planets is just enough that, when their orbits bring them into alignment, the skies of both blaze with each other's reflected glow. These meetings might happen only once every few years, or once every few hundred years, but they do happen, following a steady rhythm written by the universe in its earliest days. If you close your eyes now, you might sense that rhythm of fullness and emptiness, that quiet abundance. It is not a fullness of sound, but of presence, like a peaceful room filled with memories. Every planet is a memory of formation. Every moon is a survival story. Every orbit is a stitch of time, sewing together the chaos of the beginning into the shape of a complete stellar family. In that way, the universe is like a patient craftsman who never uses the same mold twice. Each solar system, each planet, each moon carries its own personality, gentle or wild, radiant or still, yet never meaningless. The deeper you look, the more clearly you see that this crowded richness is what makes the universe beautiful. It's like a night market without voices, where each stall is a solar system, each lantern is a star, each moving shape is a planet in motion. You hear no footsteps, but you can feel the presence of every rotation, every small shift, every faint ray. reflected off rock or cloud. All of this, billions of tiny worlds whispering at once, makes you realize that we are not truly lonely in the universe. Not necessarily because there is someone like us out there, but because the universe is so full that our existence is not an anomaly, only a small chapter in an endless book of possibilities. In this moment, as we are still lingering in the silent crowdedness of the cosmos, where planets stand side by side like pearls on an endless thread, you might suddenly wonder, if there are worlds that live close together like neighbors, are there worlds that are completely alone? That question gently opens a doorway into another sky, a sky without synchronized orbital dances, without the reflected glow of neighbors, without any nearby lantern to share the darkness, only a long, drawn-out silence, like a breath that never ends. There, in the densest layers of night, wander the solitary travelers of the universe. People call them rogue planets. Worlds that have been thrown out of the star systems where they were born. No more orbit, no more light, no way to measure day or night. They drift like leaves falling into a river with no shore. The cosmic river is too vast, too deep, too still, and that leaf, that frozen, lonely planet can only keep moving, never knowing where it is headed. Imagine standing on the surface of one of those worlds. There is no sunrise, no sunset, no brightening in the east, no pink glow in the west. Above you, only blackness. So complete that without the ground under your feet, you could not tell where the sky ends and the land begins. And yet, deep beneath the thick crust, under rocks frozen as hard as metal, there might still be a faint warmth. The last breath from its youth, when the planet was still forming, still young, still burning inside, a little heat from radioactive decay, from an ancient flame that never fully went out. Because of that, even in the coldest, darkest regions, there may exist hidden oceans, deep and absolutely still, like a universe in meditation, never stirred by wind, never touched by light. These rogue planets are like lost souls, wandering through the night desert of the cosmos. No voice calling them, no compass, no companion. They have only their own motion, like a single note that has fallen out of the symphony, but continues to drift along the quiet rhythm of space-time. And yet, the universe has never been a place of pure despair. In its deepest darkness, there are still moments as gentle as a hand resting on a weary shoulder. Moments when a rogue planet happens to pass near a distant star and is drawn into its orbit. An encounter no one predicted. A wordless rescue. As if the universe itself sighed and said, yes, you too have a place in this house of light. It is a beautiful image. A cold stone wandering aimlessly for billions of years, suddenly being welcomed into the embrace of a strange sun. Warmed once more, seeing dawn for the first time in millions of centuries, given a path, no longer a directionless drift, but a soft, stable orbit, like being held in gentle arms. Those moments are so rare that they almost feel like pieces of a fairy tale, and yet, they still happen. Not often, not loudly, and never with anyone there to witness them. But in the deepest silence, the universe patiently writes these quiet reunions, as if it understands that even a planet may need a home. And strangely, when you think about it, you begin to see a reflection of your own humanity in these wandering worlds. We too have known what it feels like to drift, without knowing where we belong. We too have lived through nights so long that no light seemed able to reach us. And then, sometimes without warning, an arm, a person, an idea, an event turns toward us like a distant star, pulling us gently into a new orbit of life. The rogue planet finds a new home, and we, wherever we travel, may also find a place where we truly belong. Perhaps that is one of the reasons the universe feels so tender. It is immense, overwhelming, and sometimes terrifyingly quiet. But it still carries stories, soft as the breath of kindness. As that thought dissolves in your mind, the images of those solitary travelers grow softer, less lonely, Because now you know that even in the universe, a realm that seems indifferent, there exist moments of care that cannot be explained. And now, as we prepare to move into the next part of our journey, let the last image lingering within you be that of a cold, forgotten planet, suddenly glowing for the first time in billions of years. A new light, a new orbit, a new story. From there, we continue wandering into other worlds, places where rock turns to vapor, where rain falls in metal, where heat and cold write strange wonders that exist only in the universe. Imagine standing on the surface of a planet orbiting so close to its star that the sky overhead isn't blue or black, but a blazing white, so bright you can almost hear the light itself singing. The temperature here is not hundreds or thousands of degrees, but so high that the rocks on its surface are no longer rocks. They soften, melt, evaporate like water touching flame, rising into shimmering clouds of minerals. Clouds made of stone, an idea that feels impossible, yet is completely real, somewhere in the cosmos. When the stellar winds sweep across, those stone clouds cool, condense, and fall again as metallic rain. Each droplet glows like molten silver, tapping gently on a surface already steaming with heat. Imagine lying down and listening to rain like that. Not the soft, familiar rain of Earth, but the delicate ticking of liquid metal falling on evaporating mineral ground. The sound is strange, meditative, like a piece of music written on the edge of reality. Some planets are so close to their stars that one half of the world forever faces the light, like a face turned endlessly toward a flame. That half lives in eternal day, searing, blinding, hot enough to turn anything to vapor in moments. The other half is an eternal night, so cold that steel could shatter like glass. And between those two extremes lies a delicate boundary, thin as the stroke of a pencil, a twilight ring around the planet, neither too hot nor too cold. There, the winds race wildly as they try to balance the extremes, swirling at speeds faster than sound. That narrow band, where day and night meet, is the most inhabitable place. If life exists on such a world, it may live right there, between the light and the dark. Some planets orbit so near their star that their atmospheres are torn away layer by layer, trailing behind them like a glowing comet's tail. The planet itself, scorched and eroded, looks like a torch smoldering in the cosmic wind. Seen from afar, such a world appears to be crying light, leaving behind a long ribbon of luminous tears in shades of violet, gold, or green. A sorrowful beauty, yet magnificent, like a silk scarf unfurling in empty space. These blazing worlds overwhelm and humble anyone who imagines them. On Earth, we believe rock is solid, metal does not evaporate, and rain must be water. But the universe makes no promise to honor our rules. It can turn rock into vapor, gas into liquid, day into forever, and night into eternity. And where the familiar rules are stretched beyond recognition, the universe creates patterns, colors, and states of matter no one on our little world has ever seen. It reminds us that Earth is not the template of the cosmos. It is only one small story among countless others. And when this realization settles in your thoughts like a quiet sigh, you begin to understand that the universe is not only beautiful because of its size, but because it never stops experimenting. There are places so cold that their oceans turn into black glass, places so hot that clouds become metal, rain becomes silver flame, racing around the globe. We, the ones listening to this story, are fortunate to witness even a fraction of that creativity. And in the softness of tonight, as everything around you begins to fade into something gentler, dimmer, dreamlike, hold on to this moment. The moment you learn that there are worlds in the universe where rocks can fly, where rain glows like molten silver, and where day never ends. Because from such strangeness we discover that the universe is not merely a place to observe, It is a place to feel, to wonder, to be humbled, and to understand that human imagination has only brushed against its outermost edge. All right, as we gently close the chapter on those blazing worlds, those places where stone evaporates into clouds and skies glow like molten silk, you might still feel a faint warmth on the skin of your imagination. But the universe, like a masterful artist, knows how to balance its palette. After the brightest flames, there are always deep, quiet shadows for the spirit to rest in. With a blink, we drift away from scorching planets and move into another realm entirely, one so cold that even time seems reluctant to move forward. A region where starlight does not fall boldly on the surface, but flickers faintly from afar, like a candle struggling in the depth of night. This is the frozen twilight of distant solar systems, where a star appears only as a trembling pin of light, fragile as the breath of someone sleeping. Imagine standing on the surface of a planet, so far from its star that the light takes ages to arrive. You look up, and instead of a bright sun, you see only a dot, a lone firefly carried by the night wind. Its glow is too faint to warm anything. On this world, the air itself might freeze. Layers of atmosphere that are soft and gentle on Earth could harden into cloudy glass. You could touch it, if your hands did not freeze the moment you removed your glove. In a place this cold, oceans no longer glitter under sunlight. They retreat deep beneath a shell of frozen rock, sleeping motionless, like a heart wrapped in ice. And if anything stirs beneath those buried seas, the movement is so slow, you cannot tell whether it is life or simply the planet's last whisper of heat. Curiously, time on these worlds seems to change its rhythm. On Earth, you know a year as 365 days, one steady orbit around the sun. But out here, far from warmth, a single orbit might take not years, but hundreds of thousands of years. 1 year could outlast the entire history of human civilization. Longer than writing, longer than every story ever told. On such planets, the breath of time slows as if it refuses to disturb the surrounding silence. If you could stand on that surface, just in imagination, for no human could survive such cold, you would feel as if you had stepped into an abandoned cathedral, where every footstep is covered by centuries of dust. Everything appears still, yet that stillness holds its own quiet beauty. Beauty born from patience, from endurance, from planets that keep turning even when no one is watching. Not every place in the universe erupts, blazes, or roars. Some places simply remain silent, absolutely silent. No wind, no water, no stone scraping stone. Only darkness stretching like a long black veil across space. And within that darkness, you might hear the faintest echo, the slow breathing of time on an ancient frozen world. These cold realms are not necessarily lifeless. Sometimes, beneath the deep ice, an ocean waits to be awakened, like Europa or Enceladus in our own solar system. These hidden oceans may hold stories untold, gentle movements, the quiet beginnings of life. The universe often plants seeds where we least expect them. What makes these frozen regions so captivating is not just the cold, but the stillness. A stillness that settles the human mind, usually so chaotic, into calm. Like lying in a dark room and hearing only the soft ticking of a distant clock, these planets exist in the slow heartbeat of their own eternity. Notice something small. When you imagine burning worlds, your thoughts quicken. But when you imagine the frozen ones, everything becomes softer, slower, like a heavy blanket being placed around your shoulders. Perhaps that stillness is the universe's gift to the human spirit. A reminder that amidst countless motions, noises, and questions, there are places simply meant to rest. These planets do not race. They do not blaze. They do not fight for light. They simply drift through stretches of time, like long, quiet ribbons of shadow. If you listen closely, you may feel their slow rhythm blending into your own breath. You may feel your eyelids grow just a little heavier, as though your mind wishes to rest the way these distant worlds do. And once you have touched that stillness, we can continue our journey toward worlds strange in structure, in substance, in the very fact of their existence, as though the universe is experimenting with formulas humanity has never seen. Let us begin with the deep water planets, worlds whose entire surfaces are oceans, so deep that no mountain rises, no shore forms, and no point exists where one might set a foot. Imagine an ocean without a bottom, so deep that light has never reached its lowest places. The pressure within those oceans is so immense that water, the most familiar substance you know, begins to transform into strange forms of ice, unlike anything on Earth. Some kinds of ice float on water, some sink to the bottom, and some exist only under conditions that Earth's science is still struggling to fully understand. In those deep, dark layers, every bubble of gas rising upward is like a whisper from secret depths no one has ever heard. These water worlds feel like dreams soaked in deep blue, where every sound becomes softer, rounder, and more distant. Then there are planets that are not wet, not soft at all, but made of tightly compressed carbon. Imagine an entire world, its core, its mantle, all the way to its surface, made of diamond. A diamond planet, a glittering sphere in the dark. When starlight falls across its surface, it doesn't simply reflect, it bursts into countless shattered rays, as if the planet were wearing a radiant crown carved from the heart of the universe. In the depths of space, that world doesn't just shine, it sings, in the language of diamond, in the language of light refracted through thousands of sparkling planes. Perhaps, if you could stand on such a world, if that were even possible, you would feel as though you had wandered into an endless palace, where every wall is made of glowing glass. But not all worlds are heavy and solid like that. Some are so incredibly light that they seem barely real at all. They're made mostly of gas, so diffuse that a strong enough stellar wind could reshape them, like a giant cloud. Imagine a vast sphere, larger than Jupiter, yet so light that you could, just in imagination, slide your hand through its outer layers, as if you were touching a soft cushion. These cotton clouds of planets bring to mind hazy dreams where nothing has weight, nothing has a clear edge, as though the entire world were woven from the breath of its parent star. And then, standing in sharp contrast to that softness, there are worlds so dense that imagination itself has to slow down to grasp them. There are planets no bigger than a city, but hundreds of times heavier than Earth. A single spoonful of material from one of those worlds, if you could somehow scoop it up, would outweigh a mountain. These are planets born from the remnants of stars, where matter has been crushed so tightly that there is no empty space left between atoms. They are dark, silent spheres, yet inside them lies the story of vanished ages, times when the universe was hotter, brighter, more turbulent than it is now. Looking at all these strange worlds, we realize something quietly beautiful. The universe never uses just one formula. There is no standard planet, no original template, no limit to the imagination of creation. Some places are as wet and deep as bottomless seas. Some shine like colossal jewels. Some are light as a breath. Some are compressed like the heart of an old star. And as you sit here in the quiet night, listening to this story, you might begin to feel that each of these worlds, however strange or familiar, is like a fragment of emotion. Some fragments are soft, some are hard, some are dark, some are bright, some are silent, some blaze with intensity, just like the human heart, never limited to a single form. As we leave behind the realm of these unusual planets, where diamonds sing in the dark, where oceans run deeper than memory, where air is as soft and weightless as dreaming clouds, you may feel your mind stretching a little wider, as if each image you've just visited is still shimmering behind your gently closed eyes. And then you suddenly notice something tender. No world is truly alone. In the immensity of the universe, Every planet has a story, and in those stories, there are always companions. Sometimes a quiet moon, sometimes a singing ring of ice, and sometimes nothing at all. We drift onward, as gently as if we were gliding across still water to meet them, the companions of worlds. First, let your imagination step into a sky unlike any sky Earth has ever known. Picture yourself standing on the surface of a distant planet where the air is still as silk and starlight falls softly like powder. Above you hangs a moon larger than Earth itself, suspended like a giant lantern. The universe forgot to take down. Its surface reveals silver mountain ranges, bottomless canyons, and frozen seas that gleam like gemstones. Every detail is visible to the naked eye because it is so close, so vast, so overwhelmingly present. You might feel that if you reached out far enough, truly far, you could almost touch it. Not in the physical sense, but in a deeply human way, touching a magnificence beyond understanding. And each night, as the planet spins, that colossal moon changes position, changes color, changes the very story it tells. Some nights it glows red, like a bed of embers. Some nights it turns blue, like a hidden jewel at the bottom of the sea. Some nights it grows so large it seems to swallow half the sky. On such a world, you wouldn't need lamps. Moonlight alone would be enough to soothe every restless thought. Est tu château Saint-Gilles. But the universe is wider still, and in other corners of the sky, there are planets that wear rings so vast they can veil an entire star. If Saturn already takes our breath away, these ringed worlds are true masterpieces. Their rings stretch out tens of times the planet's diameter, unfurling like a shawl of glittering ice and dust. When the parent star rises behind those rings, its light splits into layers: gold, pale blue, silvery white like a cold breath. It's as if you were looking through a pane of glass painted in watercolors. At certain times, the ring's shadow falls back onto the planet, tracing thin, dark lines across its surface, gentle as brushstrokes on silk paper. Those shadows are not only beautiful, they tell stories of motion, of rhythm, of endless rotation. If you've ever watched a fine mechanical clock at work, a ringed planet is the cosmic version of that craftsmanship, only softer, more meditative, and infinitely more vast. And yet, there are places where the universe chooses a different story, a story slightly sadder, quieter, deeper. These are the planets with no moons at all, no companion to brighten their nights, no stabilizing hand to steady their spin, no one to travel with them through billions of years. Such worlds wobble, like the breathing of someone trying to stay calm through a long night. Their axes tilt, shift, and tilt again. Their seasons are unstable. Their winds carry the uncertainty of a world that has never found a steady rhythm. And strangely, even this loneliness has a beauty of its own. The beauty of a silent soul turning in endless darkness, guided by no one, yet still moving forward. You see, every planet has some kind of companion. Whether it's a giant moon like a second world, a soft ring of ice like a silver scarf, or simply the silence that surrounds it. And sometimes that silence is the deepest companion of all. As you listen to this story, you might begin to notice something small but true. In every human life, there are moons, there are rings, and there are stretches of sky with no visible companion. There are people who make you shine. There are people who wrap you in kindness. And there are seasons when you feel you have no one. Yet in those very times, you come to know yourself the most. The universe doesn't just tell stories about distant worlds. It whispers about us. And as you let your breath slow down, your shoulders loosen just a little, tonight's journey is still not over. We still have half the sky to walk through. After leaving behind those wondrous companions, the giant moons hanging like lanterns of a gentle god, the graceful rings like silver scarves embracing their planets, and even the lonely worlds wobbling like uneven breaths of a soul searching for itself, You may sense something natural and quiet. The universe doesn't just tell stories of what orbits what. It tells stories of where life might begin to sing. And so, as we softly close our eyes, the picture in front of us widens, gliding into a new realm of thought. A place where the edges of life's possibility glow faintly in the endless dark. There, we start to see something miraculous that humans often forget. That life may not be a rare gift, but a subtle current threading its way through more corners of the universe than we ever imagined. Imagine some distant star system where light comes not from one but two or even three suns, warming space together. In such systems, the region where water can remain liquid, where life as we know it might exist, doesn't sit in just one fixed ring. It can appear in multiple bands, repeating like nested rings from a dream. A single system might hold 2 or 3 habitable zones, as if the universe were quietly opening extra doors for life to walk through. This thought brings a soft smile, because it suggests that even in a universe that can feel cold at times, there is a kind of hidden generosity. And then we realize something more astonishing. Life doesn't have to live only on planets. In the gentle, sheltered corners of the cosmos, moons themselves can become cradles of life. Like Europa, Enceladus, or Titan in our own system. But far away, such moons could be richer, more numerous, more diverse. Imagine yourself standing on the surface of an icy moon. Starlight reflecting faintly off a thick shell of frozen crystal. Beneath your feet lies an ocean deeper than all the oceans on Earth combined, where liquid water moves quietly, like the whispers of time. It doesn't need sunlight. It doesn't need a blue sky. With only the heat from the planet's interior, life could still stir there in the form of tiny creatures drifting along warm currents. And if that is possible somewhere far away, then the universe may be filled with worlds where life quietly blossoms like flowers growing in cracks of stone. But life, whether fragile or resilient, always needs one thing: stability. And the universe, just like life itself, never stands still. As a star grows old, it becomes brighter, hotter, larger, and the habitable zones, the regions where life can breathe, begin to drift outward. A planet that once held liquid water on its surface can suddenly become too hot. A moon once warmed just enough may turn too cold. The home where life once knew how to live, how to breathe, how to belong, may cease to be home. And that gently whispers a simple lesson. Even the universe changes. Even houses built from light and gravity must move, expand, and sometimes fade away. As you lie there listening to this story, you may feel a quiet understanding. Your life is the same. There are places that were once your home, a room, a person, a feeling, a moment. And over time they change, drift away, and make room for new places where you can live and grow. The universe is not static. Neither is your life. But within all that shifting, there is no absolute loss, only transformation. Just as a planet can drift out of an old habitable zone and gradually settle into a new one, you too can always find your balance again, whether in a different place or in a new version of yourself. When we understand that these zones of life can change, we also understand that every step we take now is quietly carrying us toward a better fit. And so, as your mind begins to relax, like a planet gliding steadily along its orbit, you may feel a calmness spreading through you. The universe is not cold-hearted. It simply moves in its own way. Life, wherever it is, whatever form it takes, always finds a path. Just like you, tonight, are finding your way to a still, quiet space within yourself. And as we continue listening to this story of wandering habitable zones, of cosmic homes that never stop changing, a gentle realization slips into your mind. That life, like starlight, does not only depend on where it is right now, but also on the journey that brought it there. Every planet, every moon, every star system carries a story not only of existence, but of birth, transformation, and decay, repeating over billions of years. The worlds you're imagining now, small worlds searching for their own habitable regions, are only middle chapters in a much longer book that the universe is writing. Right at the moment when your mind starts to feel the slow rhythm of that story, the narrative naturally deepens, opening into a more mysterious realm. The place where solar systems are born, grow up and then dissolve, leaving behind dust and ash as raw material for new systems. It's as if the universe is breathing, a long, soft, slow breath in which creation and dissolution are simply two beats of the same motion. Let's begin where everything begins. In glowing nebulae, immense clouds of gas stretching out like shining scarves in the endless night. Inside those nebulae, cold dust from dead stars becomes the seed for new stars. Like a garden that never sleeps, where death is not a full stop, but compost for continuation. Regions of gas begin to contract, swirling together like a slow dance of smoke. And then, a new star flares to life, solitary, young, trembling like the first spark of a fire on a winter morning. Around it, leftover debris continues to circle, colliding, merging into planets. Then boulders, and finally into rounded planets. But not every planet is lucky enough to grow into a complete world. Many remain unfinished sketches, like statues left half-carved, drifting through space without enough gravity to gather more matter, without enough time to become a true world. They exist as the universe's incomplete ideas, first notes of a melody that never had the chance to fully play. Where there is order, there is always chaos. When planets are young, they do not sit politely in their orbits. They wander, trade places, collide, and wrestle for room around their star. Some are thrown out of the system entirely, becoming lonely wanderers. Some are dragged dangerously close to their star, heated until their atmospheres are stripped away. Some manage to find a stable spot, revolving peacefully in gentle light. Each solar system is a vivid story of conflict, adaptation, and rare moments of harmony. But sometimes, the universe ends a chapter with a huge punctuation mark. A supernova. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it doesn't quietly fade. It explodes with a brilliance that can outshine an entire galaxy for a moment. Shock waves sweep through its planetary system, tearing through everything in the star's final storm. Planets that were once warm and alive are shattered into dust. Orbits that were once stable unravel like petals blown away by the wind. And then something miraculous happens. That ash, that light, those fragments become material for new beginnings. From that blazing end, a nebula forms. From the nebula, a new generation of stars, planets, and stories is born. The universe constantly recycles itself, never growing cold, never coming to a full stop, but turning and returning like an ancient wheel. Not every solar system is born in a peaceful place. Some form at the very edge of black holes, where space-time is stretched thin like a thread, where light must struggle to escape. It seems like a dead zone where nothing can endure for long, and yet, even on that brink of destruction, star systems can arise, fragile but persistent. Like tiny flowers blooming on the lip of a sheer cliff, the universe, it seems, never passes up the chance to plant new seeds, even in the harshest soil. There are systems reborn from the ashes of dead stars. Atoms that once belonged to an old star are gathered again, fused, heated, and turned into the foundations for young planets in new orbits. From the death of a single world, sometimes 10 others are born. From the fading of one sun, the light of many suns may rise for the very first time. From the deepest darkness, the seeds of beginnings are always present. That image carries a quiet, meditative truth. Every ending in the universe is only a change of form. A chapter, closing, so another can open. And as you lie there, listening to the cycle of star systems, their blazing births, their painful disillusions, their gentle rebirths like the exhale of night, you may feel something very familiar. Our lives are the same. We form, we change, we collide, we lose, and we find ourselves again in new versions of who we are. Nothing stays still forever. Nothing is lost completely. Everything returns, in one shape or another, like planets rediscovering an orbit after chaos. As the story of birth, decay, re-rebirth among star systems slowly closes in your mind, a strange stillness spreads out. Like the moment after a heavy rain when everything stops trembling and only clear droplets slide softly across the leaves. You realize that the universe never truly ends anywhere. It simply shifts from one rhythm to another. From that understanding, we step into the final chapter, the chapter about the mysterious emotional architecture of solar systems, where chaos and order hold hands and dance their own cosmic waltz. Imagine that some star systems are arranged so beautifully that they seem to have been measured by an invisible ruler. Each planet set at just the right distance and position, lined up like neat pieces on an ancient board. Each planet turns like the gears of a fine clock, each orbit a heartbeat of a miniature universe. Light from the central star spreads evenly to each world, giving you the feeling that you're looking at a painting made by an artist who loves symmetry and perfect balance. But not every system is so gentle. Some are wild and tangled, like a stroke of ink drawn in a burst of feeling. Orbits twist, tilt, and weave over and under each other like wild rivers rushing through the night. In such systems, planets don't keep their places for long. They drift, shift orbits, or sometimes collide in those fateful moments that rewrite the story of a system. Within that primal chaos lies a beauty of its own, the beauty of free curves, unconcerned with any pattern. Sometimes a wandering star passes by and shatters the order of an entire system. Its gravity pulls planets off their familiar paths, like a sudden gust of wind tearing a leaf from the branch where you thought it would rest all season. Some planets are flung outward, drifting in the endless dark as solitary travelers. Others find new orbits, beginning completely different journeys, with new light, new skies, and seasons that follow an unfamiliar rhythm. The universe never announces this. It simply writes on, adding new lines to a melody that has never been finished. And the dust, ice, rocks, and fragments, from stellar deaths, planetary collisions, worlds torn apart, all continue to drift. Slowly, steadily, floating like unspoken thoughts. They move through the blackness like forgotten memories, yet each piece carries the full story of a system that once was. Silently, through their paths, they tell the history of billions of years in a language without words. One day they may gather again, forming a new planet, or fall into a star and become light. Nothing is lost, only retold. If you listen closely, you'll feel that every solar system, whether neat or chaotic, is an expression of something deeply emotional within the universe. The orderly systems, lined up like a chessboard, feel peaceful, like even breathing in sleep. The chaotic, tilted systems are like the days when our minds are cluttered, our thoughts spinning, and nothing stays still for long. But whether ordered or wild, each system holds its own harmony, as if the universe always knows how to balance gentleness and intensity, stillness and motion. In that moment, a small insight blossoms in your mind, that the universe, on its grandest scale, moves very much like the human soul. There are days when we are organized, clear, and sure of what we want. And there are days when we are tangled, our emotional orbits shifting wildly, as if some strange star has passed through our inner sky and pulled everything off course. Yet no matter the chaos, there is always a hidden order within us, a private rhythm only we can truly feel. Like the universe, we are never just one thing. We are all of it at once. Harmony and confusion, light and dark, silence and trembling, coexisting on one invisible map. And now, as you lie here, your breathing slowing, sleepiness gathering gently behind your eyes, imagine that all those solar systems, the rings, the soft orbits, the lonely planets, the drifting dust, are slowly circling around you like a great cosmic blanket being drawn up over your shoulders. They don't ask you to understand everything. They only invite you to feel one simple deep truth, that in all this vastness, we are just one small breath. But that breath matters. It is a breath listening to the universe's story and letting the universe listen back to the quiet voice of your own heart. And tonight, as you close your eyes, let those star systems lull you to sleep. Light as starlight, deep as space, and peaceful as the slow rotation of a planet that has finally found its place in the dark. All you have to do is let your mind drift. The universe will take care of the rest. Sleep well.